Handmade wooden home decor is more than a product category. It is a story waiting to be told, a sensory experience shaped by grain, texture, warmth, and the quiet authority of nature brought indoors. Imagine opening your YouTube video not with an explanation but with a sound, the slow rasp of sandpaper gliding across solid oak, the rhythmic tap of a chisel carving into walnut, the soft brush of natural oil soaking into raw timber. Before viewers even see the finished piece, they feel it. That is your hook. In a world flooded with mass-produced decor and flat-packed furniture, the appeal of handcrafted wooden art lies in its authenticity. It carries subtle imperfections that prove human touch, and those imperfections are precisely what make each piece valuable. Your script can begin with a bold line such as, "This piece of wood was once part of a living tree, and in the next 10 minutes, it will become the centerpiece someone didn't know their home was missing." Immediately, you frame your content not as a craft tutorial but as a transformation story. Viewers are not just watching you make decor, they are witnessing raw material become meaning. The emotional arc is what makes artistic handmade wooden decor sell fast. Buyers today are searching for warmth in their spaces, tactile surfaces that soften modern interiors, neutral palettes that complement minimalist trends, and natural materials that align with sustainability values. In your narration, you can lean into this cultural shift. Talk about how people crave connection to nature in urban apartments, how wood grain patterns resemble flowing landscapes, and how handcrafted pieces become conversation starters in otherwise sterile rooms. Instead of listing products, weave them into scenes. A floating walnut shelf that holds a small trailing plant near a sunlit window, a hand-carved wooden wall panel casting soft shadows at golden hour, a minimalist wooden clock that ticks quietly in a calm reading nook. Describe the atmosphere these objects create, because atmosphere sells faster than specifications. To deepen engagement, introduce a personal narrative thread. Perhaps you discovered woodworking during a stressful season, or maybe you inherited tools from a family member. When viewers understand the heart behind the craft, they assign greater value to the finished work. A compelling hook idea could be, "I started making wooden decor in my garage with one borrowed tool. Today these pieces ship across the country within days of being posted." This instantly combines aspiration with proof of demand. As you transition into the making process, use cinematic language. Explain how you select hardwoods for durability and character, how you study knots and grain lines before cutting, almost as if you are collaborating with the wood rather than forcing it into shape. Emphasize that each board dictates its own design to some extent, and that unpredictability is part of the art. When viewers perceive craftsmanship as intentional and thoughtful, they begin to see price as justified. Throughout the script, subtly educate without sounding instructional. Mention why solid hardwood ages better than veneer, how natural oil finishes enhance grain rather than hiding it, and why weight and texture contribute to a premium feel. Education builds authority, and authority builds trust, which ultimately accelerates sales. Midway through the video, introduce social proof in story form rather than statistics. Share a moment when a customer sent you a photo of your wooden centerpiece displayed on their dining table during a family gathering, or describe how quickly a limited batch sold out after you posted a time-lapse of the carving process. You might say, "I listed 10 of these handcrafted candle holders on Friday, and by Sunday evening they were gone." That line creates urgency without sounding pushy. Another strong hook idea woven into the narrative could be scarcity. "I only make 12 of these each month because every curve is shaped by hand." Scarcity enhances desirability, and in the world of artistic decor, exclusivity is powerful. Continue the paragraph by exploring design trends that support fast sales. Natural Scandinavian-inspired interiors, earthy tones, biophilic design, and sustainable living movements all amplify the demand for wooden art. Speak about how modern homeowners mix clean white walls with organic textures to prevent spaces from feeling cold. Wooden decor functions as the balancing element, grounding, calming, timeless. By aligning your product with broader design movements, You position it as relevant rather than niche. As your script moves toward its emotional peak, focus on transformation again, not just of wood, but of space. Invite viewers to imagine walking into a room and instantly sensing warmth because of a handcrafted wooden statement piece mounted above the sofa. Paint the sensory details, the subtle scent of natural wood oil, the way light shifts across carved ridges, the comforting weight when someone lifts a solid wooden tray. Emotional visualization helps viewers picture ownership, and ownership in the mind often precedes purchase in reality. Reinforce the handmade element repeatedly, because in a saturated marketplace, handmade is a differentiator. Remind them that no two pieces are identical, that each carries slight variations in tone and grain, that they are buying something no factory can replicate. That uniqueness justifies both premium pricing and quick sellouts. Toward the end, transition into empowerment. Encourage viewers who are makers themselves to explore woodworking as a creative outlet and potential income stream. Suggest that artistic integrity and consistent storytelling are what move products quickly, not aggressive sales tactics. When audiences see process transparency, passion, and craftsmanship combined, they feel safe investing. Conclude your script with a resonant call to action that feels like an invitation rather than a command. Instead of simply saying, "Buy now," try something like, "If you believe your home deserves something shaped by real hands, explore the latest pieces linked below, each one waiting to become part of a new story." This maintains the emotional tone you established at the beginning. As the final visual fades, return to the sound of sanding or carving, creating a satisfying full-circle moment. The last line could echo your opening transformation theme. From forest to form, from raw to refined, this is why handmade wooden home decor doesn't sit on shelves for long. By structuring your YouTube script as a flowing narrative filled with sensory imagery, emotional resonance, cultural relevance, subtle education, and authentic storytelling, you turn artistic wooden decor into more than merchandise. You turn it into meaning, and meaning is what sells fast. As we come to the end of this journey, take one more look at the grain, the curves, the quiet strength in every line of these handmade wooden pieces. What began as a rough plank, raw, uneven, overlooked, has become something refined, intentional, and alive with character. That transformation is the real story behind handmade wooden home decor that sells fast. It is not just about trends or algorithms or clever marketing. It is about creating something real in a world that often feels artificial. When someone places a handcrafted wooden shelf on their wall, sets a solid oak centerpiece on their table, or hangs a carved panel above their couch, they are not just decorating. They are choosing warmth over mass production, texture over plastic perfection, and craftsmanship over convenience. And that is why these pieces do not sit in inventory for long. People feel the difference. They see the hand-sanded edges, the natural oil finish that enhances rather than hides the grain, the subtle variations that prove no two items are ever identical. They understand that each piece carries time within it, time spent shaping, refining, perfecting. In a marketplace flooded with identical factory-made decor, authenticity stands out instantly. When buyers recognize that a piece was shaped slowly and intentionally, urgency follows. They know that once it is gone, it cannot be replicated exactly the same way again. If you are a creator watching this, remember that what truly makes artistic wooden decor sell quickly is not just skill with tools, but storytelling. Show the process. Let people hear the chisel meeting wood. Let them see the transformation from raw board to finished art. Share why you chose that design, why that knot stayed, why that curve matters. When people connect to the story, they connect to the piece. And when they connect to the piece, they do not hesitate. If you are here because you love unique home accents, consider what your space says about you. Does it feel personal? Does it feel grounded? A handcrafted wooden piece has a way of anchoring a room, of bringing calm and character into everyday life. It ages beautifully. It gathers memories. It becomes part of the home's identity. So as we close, I invite you to look beyond decoration and see possibility. Every handcrafted wooden item you bring into a space carries the imprint of real hands and real intention. That is something no machine can duplicate. If this inspired you, explore the latest creations linked below, or start your own journey into woodworking and see what stories you can shape from a single piece of timber. Because from forest to finished form, handmade wooden home decor is more than art. It is legacy, warmth, and craftsmanship that people recognize instantly. And that is why it sells fast.